Well, let's get into the papers now, and I have with me Ghanaian Times, the Chronicle, the Insight, and the Daily Democrat. Now, on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, President Mahama renews vows to Ghanaians, promises ethical leadership at all levels. Massive push needed to stimulate domestic private investment, according to Asantene. And gridlock deepens to Kwame Nkrumah Interchange North Industrial Area. At the back page, engage in constitution review process. NCCE urges Ghanaians and consolidate gains so far. Arise Ghana tells President. The Chronicle, you remember we did a story on, I think, was it Monday or so, where the Dombo family was throwing support for Dr. Brian Acheampong. Now, the Chronicle, banner headline, Dombo family speaks. We don't support Brian. Dr. Bawumia is our candidate. And that's out of a statement the Dombo family has put out, signed by two of the Dombo family members. And they say that their choice is Dr. Bawumia based on proven record and vision for the party and the country. And they have not in any way thrown their support for Dr. Brian Acheampong. Get details on page 3 and 8 of the paper. Just a bit of what they say. They say our support for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been clear and deliberate, unquote. The family stated, warning that any attempt to suggest endorsement of another candidate amounted to a distortion of fact and a misrepresentation of its views. Now, the family, they said a lot of things just to buttress the point that their support is with Dr. Bawumia. Now, again, just on the front page again, SD Dombo's nephew declares support for Brian. So, one part, Dombo family clarified that they don't support Brian. Another part, SD Dombo's nephew is declaring support for Brian. Printpark Glomef condemned assault on class media journalist, and 1 year in office, Mahama touts economic stabilization. There. On the inside, debunking Trump's SAP, Venezuela's Bolivarian revolution still stands. Ghana's future under Mahama promising no challenges remain. Arise Ghana. And U.S. invasion of Venezuela not based on narco-terrorism, Gamal Nasser Adam says. That's from the Insight newspaper there. It says Mines Watch slams minority. Says its criticism of Bar Rock risks undermining Ghana's gold reforms. Daily Democrat. Arise Ghana endorses Mahama's 1 year performance. MPA chief addresses 77th New Year School and Conference at UG. Gold Board, World Gold Council explores strategic partnership on ASM formalization and traceability. All right. Joining me in studio now is Dr. Frederick Ntiamwa, lecturer, University of Ghana, and a member of the NDC's communications team. Doc, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And Kwadwo Poku, he is also a member of the MPP's communications team and the executive director, of
Institute for Energy Policies and Research.
I was going to say an oil think tank.
Well, yeah, it is a think tank in the energy sector, so yes, you can call it an oil think tank.
All right, then. But Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, my brother. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes, I hope your New Year is going great.
It is.
You've not set unrealistic targets or resolutions, or you have not set any?
I think all my targets are smart, so
that's good.
Yeah.
I don't set it. I've stopped setting.
You have?
I've stopped because I think subconsciously you resist it.
Oh, okay.
When you set targets for yourself, subconsciously you resist it. I don't know why, but I just left it so that we'll take it a day at a time.
Mine is a bit different anyway. When I say I'm going to achieve this at a certain point in time, I go every length to ensure I get it done. But sometimes you bypass it a little.
I think my inner body, my inner self is a resistance.
Doc, good morning. Happy New Year to you.
Many happy returns.
Okay. And we're also joined on the phone lines by a lawyer for Ken Ofori-Atta. He's a member of Ken Ofori-Atta's legal team and my very good friend, Frank Davis. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning.
Happy New Year to you. This is the first time we're speaking in 2025, 2026.
I wish you a prosperous and fulfilling one too.
All right. Let me start with you because we read a story yesterday that your client, Ken Ofori-Atta, is in ICE detention. What is it for and what's happening?
Good morning to your esteemed listeners and cherished viewers. Yes, as we speak, Ken has been detained or picked up. He's in the custody of U.S. immigration and customs enforcement, otherwise popularly known as ICE. Yes, it is a reason because he has a petition which is pending for an adjustment of his status to allow him to remain or continue to stay in the U.S. legally due to the fact that the extent of his visa to remain in the U.S. has lapsed. So, of course, if you are very competent with the U.S. immigration laws, these matters regarding an adjustment of status is common and resort things started with the U.S. So the petition has been pending and awaiting the resolution of the petition. That's what I have detained for that matter to be resolved and expeditiously dealt. So it is not a strange phenomenon. So he's presently in the custody of the IT.
So this is not a reaction to the extradition request by Ghana?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. It is not. You have to appreciate the essential difference between extradition proceedings and a petition for adjustment of status. The two are separate and distinct. So it is not in reaction to the that was filed by the government. So we will await the petition of I and move forward.
Per the statement we've seen, the lawyers in the US say they're doing everything to ensure that he is released. I mean, a bit.
Oh yes, of course. Our counterpart lawyers. Our counterpart lawyers in the US are working on the petition, and it should be resolved anytime soon. It's not something that is beyond the U.S. authorities to extend one period of stay in the U.S. If you are able to advance reasons why your visa stay or period should be extended. So,
what is informing this latest request to change the duration of stay in the U.S.?
You are public, of course. It's been in your knowledge, you in particular, that he's been there for medical procedure, and he's still undergoing treatment. Of course, in consultation with the medical team, he's been advised to remain and still continue with the recuperative stage of the procedure attended on him. And as it is customary, if you will have to remain in a jurisdiction above extended the limit of your visa stay, you obviously will have to apply to the authorities consider a petition to that effect. Otherwise, your continuous stay in that jurisdiction would be illegal. And if it is illegal, your feet can be repatriated in that country. So yes, it is related to his medical stay in the US.
A lot of Ghanaians get worried about his continuous absence from the country to aid the investigation that is going on. How different is this condition from the one he suffered when he was a finance minister, but returned to the country to continue his work as a minister?
I want to believe that matters of medical charges are most often and not private and rather confidential. So I don't want to discuss in detail the medical condition of Kwadwo Poku. I don't have that permission. I am his lawyer. I am not his physician or medical consultant. I don't do those matters.
Okay.
I'll plead that himself.
Okay.
I don't have his permission to speak to those matters.
So you're hopeful that his stay will be extended for him to continue staying in the U.S.?
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security, in conjunction with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, are with him. The lawyers are also pursuing the petition. So that is all I can say.
Okay, all right. So if anybody says it is because of the effort to bring him to Ghana, we should disregard those.
If anybody says what?
That it is because of the effort to extradite him to Ghana, that's why they have him now, we should disregard those ones? Is that the argument?
Well, anyone who hates that argument is able to substantiate. You can't make that argument. We, out of conduct, have come out with a publication. I mean, we could have kept quiet about it. But that publication came from us. I mean, that obviously should inform everyone the sincerity of the process that is going on. We could have kept it to ourselves for other people to come up with it. But we have put it in the public domain. So that alone should let you know that it is not something which is clouded with huge secrecy. So anyone who say or argue otherwise, that it is in furtherance of the extradition proceedings, that is why the ICE detained or put him in their custody. That person should be able to educate all of us and substantiate the reason for that diverse opinion. So that's where we are.
Okay, and you didn't come out because people would have seen him and would have communicated that he was there. But you thought that you want to make Ghanaians aware of what's happening. That's why you came out with a statement.
Definitely. I mean, Kwadwo is a person of special interest now. So, I mean, what is it that he will be doing, or what is it that he could do there which will not come into the public domain? So, why? The matter is one of public concern. So we have put it and done what we should as lawyers.
Okay, because last year, some people suggested that his visa will be expiring and therefore Ghana could take advantage and bring him to the country around that time. And we are seeing this and a statement from your team, and that's why I want a clarification. But we're grateful to you for giving us these clarifications, sir.
Thank you very much.
So I mean, have you heard from the team this morning? How are things going with him?
The name is Kwadwo, eh?
Yes, please, sir.
You will be the first to know.
I need what?
You will be the first to know when the situation changes or is resolved, whichever way. You will be the first to know. So don't let us speculate.
Okay. Mr. Frank Davis, I'm grateful to you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much, sir.
He's lawyer, Ken Oforiatta's legal team. And this is on the back of the statement that came from Ken Oforiatta's lawyers that he's been detained at the ICE, and they are working on to get his stay extended in the U.S. Let me start with you, Dr. Ntemo. How is this coming? What do you make of this?
Kosho, good morning, and good morning to my big brother.
How are you?
This is the first time I'm meeting him in studio.
Okay.
And I also want to use this opportunity to extend my New Year wishes to the president, who's the first gentleman of the land. He's proven disciplined, very focused, and he has persevered even in the midst of all the challenges and the issues that he inherited. And so I want to say Happy New Year to our president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and also our vice president. She's also been very outstanding. Yes, we've not seen lectures being organized, but the economy is in shape. So I also extend my warmest Happy New Year to her. And all the people who are watching us this morning, Happy New Year. Especially whenever I get opportunity like this, I always say that the youth, like young people like myself and you and a few other people, or the whole Ghana as a whole, if you look at the kind of hope and trust that we invested in our president, we've really done well, because where the country is heading to, it means that we took a good decision. So all the youth of Ghana, I want to say Happy New Year to you. And back to your question.
Well, maybe before I come to you, let me join Manasseh Azure,
Okay.
an investigative journalist who's joining us via Zoom. Manasseh Azure has been following this particular story for a long time now. Manasseh, I'm grateful to you for joining. What do you also know about the detention of Ken Oforiatta in ICE?
Well, I don't know much except what is out there, and what I'm hearing is that this has more to do with his visa status than his the extradition request we've made. But either way, it is good news. I think I reported late last year that he had a visa to the US that would expire on the 14th of February. That is next month. And what is happening, I think authorities haven't given much details yet, and his lawyers haven't. But it is expected that certain categories of visas are such that you would get in and then you leave at a certain point. So I suspect that may be the reason the authorities are dealing with this matter in this way. But I think that if we're able to get him deported, that would even serve a bigger or a faster purpose than going through the extradition process, which can take forever. So in either way, I think this is good news. And if the authorities proceed to act on this, I see it as serving the interest of justice, as in the OSP having him around and then getting him to stand trial. That, in my view, would even be faster than the extradition process, which can take a very long time.
Well, his lawyers argue that he has a pending petition for adjustment of status, which authorizes a person to stay in the U.S. legally past the period of validity of their visas. Under U.S. law, a change of status by this method is common. And that's why they say they are doing everything to ensure that his stay is elongated.
Well, I'm not an immigration expert, but with the little some of us know traveling in and out of the U.S., you have an option to adjust your status, but when you apply, it is not an automatic acceptance of your application. You have to be subjected to the laws of the state, so that if you were within the remit of your visa, if you comply with the previous ones, and then you apply for adjustment of status, they may look at that based on the merit of your application. But if in this case, we are hearing that he should have left at a certain point, we don't know at what point he applied, but if it happens that he applied afterwards, there may be questions to answer because he may have overstayed. It is also possible that when you apply, you can be denied. So all of these, when I read the statement, it looks like, well, this is just a normal process that we are going through. But it doesn't lie within the lawyers of Ken Ofori-Atta to decide how things go. I think the U.S. authorities have their laws. I remember that when this incident happened, when we made the request, I mentioned that if the U.S. authorities wanted to get Ken Ofori-Atta out at any point in time, they could do that, because in recent time we have heard and seen incidents when even some green card holders were refused entry back into the U.S. And I have read some of the stories, and some of the immigration officials, and some call them ministers. They are here they call them secretaries, stating that being allowed entry into the U.S. is a privilege and not a right. So even if he has applied and the U.S. authorities think that, no, we don't want you, they can still deny him, and once that denial is done, you can be deported.
Okay.
So from what I'm gathering, it may have more to do that. That is, if they proceed to act on this detention, it may be more in line with deportation, not extradition, which may even serve our interest. That's the interest of Ghanaians, those who want him back to face justice, because the extradition process, we are told, takes longer, but this route is likely to get him back to Ghana early, should the U.S. authorities proceed to act on this detention.
But if his visa expires in February, why will he be in detention in January? Today is January 8th, I think, yes.
Yes, there are these visas. I know people who get these visas, and when they come to the U.S., they are supposed to stay up to a certain number of months. I don't know exactly the kind of visa he has, but his visa is not like the visa of Ernest Akori. Ernest Akori has a permanent residency. He even holds a U.S. passport, so his is different. But Ken's visa, I suspect, may be one of those immigrant visas, likely the tourist ones. People have them. You can have up to 5 years, but the 5 years doesn't mean that when you get to the U.S. you stay for 5 years. Sometimes a specified number of months is given, that when you have that visa and you get into the U.S., you cannot stay beyond, let's say, 6 months. So when the 6 months is up and then your visa hasn't expired, you may have to go back home to your home country and then come back later. So all of these nuances should be considered, and not only about when the visa is expected to expire. So even if his visa was expected to expire in 2030, and then the visa regulations, the kind of visa he has, states that when you enter the U.S., you cannot stay beyond a certain number of months, then he can still be arrested and detained for visa irregularities, even though the ultimate expiration of the visa may yet or maybe ahead. So all of these are things that we maybe have to take into consideration, and not just when the visa is expiring. But as we know, not much information is out yet, and we hope in the coming days, either through his lawyers, and maybe I suspect they may want to challenge some of these detentions in court or whatever, and through that we may get more information on the specific violation that may have gotten him in detention.
I'm grateful to you, Manasseh Azrawene, for joining us here. He is an investigative journalist, and he joined us from the U.S. to give us more details on what's happening. Well, Doc.
Yes, so I was coming to your question. Well, as for me, I would say I'm happy. And I'm sure a lot of Ghanaians are also happy because, like Manasseh was saying, every Ghanaian who wants the country to move forward is expecting that he comes to face justice. Because the same person who was finance minister for 8 years, under whose watch?
Not 8 years. It was, I think, for 7 at most.
Oh, almost. I mean, that's
there's
small.
Yes,
so 7 years.
Yeah.
Let's say 7 years, under whose watch a lot of bad things went on. Contracts, SML. If we've seen about Cathedral, we've seen about a number of things. And that same person, that 90 MPs were protesting in his own party that he has to be reshuffled or he has to be changed.
I think that if you say a lot of things, well, let's add allegedly, because they've not been proven.
Well,
so that
that's fine. So allegedly, I mean, wronged. And 90 out of the members that he had in his own party as MPs made issues and cases that he has to be changed. And he insisted, even at the point where we all knew, we know that sickness is like rain. It falls on anybody, and we all go through, one way or the other, challenges in our health issues. So it was normal, but it was obvious. If you're watching on screens and television, you are able to tell that, yes, he is not fit. And he still insisted that he will still be able to take us to Canaan. That same person, immediately after the change of government, he now sees that, no, his health needs are very important, so he rushed to US. Me, I'm happy on any day, and I'm praying so hard. You see, there's a passage in the Bible about Jonah. He's like the Jonah of our time.
That's of our time?
Yes. He's the Jonah of our time because now his burden has become so heavy to the point that things are now becoming very clear. Everywhere he goes, things will expose him. His visa, whether it's expiring or not, what I'm happy about this morning is the fact that he has been detained. And everybody is praying. If the cathedral was in shape and they didn't misuse our money, as has been alleged by OSP and other institutions, by now I'm sure we'll be in the cathedral praying for his return safely. So that he will come and answer simple questions. We need him to, come and answer things to make sure that at least we are clear in our minds. Because you can't run a country and at the same time, when there is time for accountability. I've said on a number of platforms that you see we are interested in democracy. But Kwadwo, let me be honest with you. If it wasn't democracy, there are some people, and I choose my words very carefully, they wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to serve Ghana, not anywhere. But because of democracy, and we have to vote, and the people's wish, and sometimes appointment, some people, by virtue of democracy, they get the opportunity to serve our country. And once you know that you get the opportunity through democracy, there's also the other side of democracy, which is accountability. Why are they running from accountability? If you have not done anything wrong, your visa has expired and you are applying for change of status. Meanwhile, your motherland is here. We are waiting for you. We expect you to come. Nobody is saying that you are a criminal. Nobody is saying that you've done something that we're going to put you behind bars. But we are saying that per your actions, per the office that you were able to occupy for 7 years, there are a number of things that have been alleged to have gone wrong. Come and let us know that these are the papers, these are the documents, I did what is right. Even the president, at a point, the Airbus issue, he submitted himself willfully for investigation, which later they came to clear him. So come, submit yourself for investigation, face justice, and if you know that you are pure and clean, by the end of the whole issue, you also go scot-free. So I am happy, and I'm praying so hard. Maybe I'll start a fast today. Yes, I'll start a fast today and pray to God that whatever we have been hoping for, the Jonah who needs to come and save us from all the rot we experienced in the past 8 years, answer questions about those rots that has been alleged, that Jonah, now he's so heavy in the ship of United States of America that now they want to throw him out. And so we are praying that they should carry him and put him into the sea so that slowly, slowly, the river will bring him back to Ghana. That is my prayer this morning. Okay. And so I am happy, and it's a good news for every Ghanaian that somebody who wants to evade justice has gone somewhere, and slowly God, his own wisdom, is working things to make sure that he will come and face justice. This is a very good news for Ghana. And it's a new year. So you see, new year comes with new messages, refreshing.
So this is a
very nice. I mean, to start a year with such a message, I'm sure that most of us will work hard because already the country is on a good path. And so we are going to put in our all, praying and hoping that anybody who wants to evade justice, this new year coming with good wishes, will make sure that that person
but
faces justice.
Is he evading justice when he has not been pronounced guilty? These are only allegations that have been made. They've not been proven in court.
Yes.
In court. So can we say he is evading justice when no pronouncement has been made by a court of competent jurisdiction?
So what I want to say, Kwadwo, is that if we say somebody is evading justice, so justice is about presenting yourself and making sure that whatever has to be put right is put right. Okay. That is what we are talking about. So we want you to come. Let's put what is right. You see, we are all Christians. So normally I like to go with the mindset of what the Bible says. You can be a very good Christian, but you might not be just. Just in the sense that somebody is selling an item you know it should cost 20 cedis. And the person is so in damn need of money and says that I want 10 cedis. But for a just person who knows the true value of that item, will say that yes, you are asking for 10 cedis, but because I am just, I will give you 20 because I know it's worth that. That is what we are asking him to come and do. He knows that in our democracy, once you serve, you need to account. Simple as that. And that is the justice we are talking about. So accountability is what we are here for.
Okay. All right. Kwadwo Poku, let me bring you in. I mean, I'm sure you also have some details. You listened to his lawyer as well. Why doesn't he take advantage and come home and then he can go back at any point in time?
You see, when everybody speaks about Ken Ofori-Atta, they makes it look like Ken Ofori-Atta is in the U.S. for holidays. And it's painful when you hear individuals talk about somebody's father, somebody's brother, somebody's family member in that light. The man has not committed any crime. Ken Ofori-Atta served as a finance minister. Look, there are two instances where we talk like this. When somebody has committed murder and he killed his father, wife, friend, or family members and ran away, right? They are dead bodies that we see, and the person who is the person who did it has run away. And then we are saying that, these are the words we use for that person, right? He's basically evaded justice. We need to bring him back. My brother says he's going to do fasting and all those things. Then we have a situation where you would have your house where you have maybe your 2,000 cedis or 3,000 cedis sitting somewhere. You leave your maid or your house help at home. You go and come back and that money is not there. and the only person you left at home is that maid and the money is missing. And then what do? You now go to the police, and the police is looking for that person to basically come and answer questions because there is money that was there that is no longer, and will now say that that person who stole or allegedly stole the money has fled and we can't find him. When it comes to Ken Ofori-Atta, we have not had any such instance where everybody wants to make it look like Ken Ofori-Atta has committed a certain crime. And because of that, he has evaded justice. And it's very, very disheartening when you hear the words Manasseh Azuri was using, the words my brother here is using. Look, when it comes to the cathedral, the Attorney General of today went into court and said that the funding for the cathedral was lawful, consistent with the 1992 Constitution. It's on record. Yes.
Said this in court.
Yes.
Which one?
The Supreme Court. Yeah, this report is coming from the Attorney General and Minister of Justice has reportedly defended the use of State National Cathedral Project by Nanado. According to a report cited by City News, Dr. Ini, in a statement of case opposing the suit filed against the government in 2024, argued that the previous administration funding of the cathedral was lawful and consistent with the 1992 Constitution. It's in the news. It's published. Right? Where the Attorney General has stated in documents that there is nothing wrong with the funding that the Minister of Finance at the time funded the cathedral. Now, people talk about SML. SML, and is a case in court, right?
Yes.
All the suspects, all the alleged people who have been charged, they are not in prison. They are home. None of the people that have been charged to court are in prison. They are all at home. So when people make it look like Ken Ofori-Atta, when Ken Ofori-Atta comes to Ghana, he's not going to be in prison. He's going to be at home and will be going to court to defend himself. So I beg our brothers, let's stop this bashing of. It makes it look like we don't have much to say. And the only thing we want to say is Ken Ofori-Atta. Yes, if the man was fit and well, sipping pina colada in some beaches, then we say that, look, why is he there? But every indication means that the man is not well. Look, the issue of ICE immigration issues will take its course. Having the visa is a right, it's not a privilege. The U.S. will make a decision, or the Secretary of State will make a decision whether they want to extend his stay or basically refuse the petition he's made. But he's got enough documentation, medical documentation, to show that he has a need for specific medical treatment in the U.S.
But that's why some Ghanaians ask that when he was a minister during COVID time, when we all saw visibly that he wasn't well, he went and came back immediately.
Yes, but how do we know that the situation has not gotten worse? You are looking at somebody who's not well, yes, yeah. But the situation could have gotten worse. And look, like his lawyer said, we are not allowed to talk about his medical record. So let's leave it as that. But some of us are privy to certain information and situations where it was dire.
But if you were still a minister, would he?
Well, I don't want to get into that. Look, there are two different situations. What people want to do politics with is one thing. Okay. Is the man well or not well? And everybody agrees he's not well. Maybe his situation has gotten worse. But the point is, him being in Ghana, it's not like he's going to come to Ghana, he's going to be in Nsawam. Let's get that right. He has not killed anybody. He has not done drugs. He's not done anything that does not give him his freedom. He's only been charged, allegedly, to court. He will come, get bail, and go home and defend himself. So what is it that people think that Ken Ofori-Atta's presence in Ghana, what is it? If he can, and he gave the opportunity for them to do whatever questions they want to ask through Zoom. He said no. Right? We want you in the country. Well, that's neither here nor there. He can come and sit in front of you and say nothing. That's the bit people don't get. His presence in your office, his presence in the OSP does not solve anything for the OSP because he has a right not to say anything.
But it also does not take anything away from him.
Well, that's fine, but my point is that it's either or. He wants to exercise, he has liberties he can exercise. His liberties is that he can decide to be in your office and say nothing. What difference does it make to you? If you have a case, go to court. When you arrest him and you read him his Miranda rights, what do you tell him? You don't have to say anything. Or something you say or later relied on may be used against you in a case in court. So you actually caution him that he does not have to say anything. That's his right. So if Ken Ofori-Atta today comes to Ghana, goes to the OSP, and sits there and say nothing, what good is it to you? What value does it add to your case? In fact, we've got cases where the defense, the prosecutor will go through his own submission and the defense will say that, court, I don't think the prosecutor has made a burden of proof, so I submit to a no case, right? And the judge, in some cases in Ghana, has ruled that the prosecutor has not met the burden of proof and discharged the accused. So he who accused must prove. All these things we are doing is a matter of court. What my brother is praying for, going to fast for, what is it? Why are you going to fast for somebody to be brought back to Ghana? Because what? Has he killed somebody?
But
It's unhealthy for our country.
Isn't it in Ken Ofori-Atta's own interest to come and prove his innocence?
Prove what innocence? What does he have to prove? What has he done that he has to come and prove?
To help put the case to rest.
What does he have?
Just so his name rests.
No, my brother, what has he done that he has to come and prove?
We don't know what he's done.
Thank you.
But there are charges.
But let the person who charged prove his case. Because he goes to court, he doesn't have to say anything. After you have not met your burden of proof, the judge can dismiss that case. Ken Ofori-Atta cannot say a word. You, the OSP, can go to court. Spend 1 year, 2 years, 3 hours, 4 hours proving your case to the court. His lawyer can tell the judge that, my judge, this person's case has not met the burden of proof. And the judge will or will not agree. And dismiss, if he agrees, will dismiss the case against him. You see, I was saying something earlier and people let's make it. There are 2 instances where somebody has run away, right? There's 1 million cedis in the room. You were left, the only one left in the room, right? And when we all came back, that 1 million cedis is not there. We can't find you. There's 1 million cedis missing. So we need you to come and tell where that 1 million cedis is, because if you don't come and show that 1 million cedis, no, you are the one that have taken it. That is a different matter. 3 people are dead. You are the one in the house with the 3 people. In the morning, they are all dead. You are nowhere to be seen. We need you to come and tell everybody that you did not kill these 3 people and tell what happened. That is a different matter. That is when we use some of the words everybody is using against those people. Oh, come back and face justice. Come and explain yourself. In Ken Ofori-Atta's case, what has he done? He acted as a finance minister. There are files this thick at the Ministry of Finance. You can take them and read all the memos and look at his minutes and signatures on those files without his absence, with his absence. What do you need him for?
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah,
so my problem is that, look, he has his own issues he will deal with. But what hurts me is the language we use on TV and radio. Like my brother is sitting and saying he's going to fast. What are you going to fast for?
I'll do that.
Oh, please stop that.
I'll do that on any day.
Anyway, let me bring in Manasseh as well. He has an issue to respond. He wants to respond to. Manasseh, you want to make a point?
Say briefly that murder is not the only criminal issue in Ghana.
Concern financial loss to the state.
Then a certain president in his first term, that's President Mahama, said something very instructive, that corruption is like mass murder. And we shouldn't downplay issues of corruption. if anybody even wants to talk about political witch hunting or whatever, I entreat Mr. Poku to just look at the statement, the issue, the SML thing, the white paper, the president at the time, I'm talking of Ken Ofori-Atta's cousin, issued on the back of the KPMG report. We have paid billions to a company that didn't deserve it. President Akufo-Addo's own white paper said, in regards to one of the contracts, I'm just taking one, that's the external price verification, and then the external price verification and then transaction audit contracts, that the contract was redundant because the GRA had an inbuilt system that was already performing those functions, and we paid over 500 million Ghana cedis on that alone. Now, when I read the statement, the news, I'm told that Ken Ofori-Atta was diagnosed with MRI machine. In 2023, my father got very ill in the Upper East region. He went to the hospital and he was supposed to have an MRI scan. The whole of northern Ghana didn't have a single MRI machine. We're talking of 5 regions. It was so serious, we had to get him to Tamale, airlift him to Accra, and then we got an MRI machine at a private facility in airport. Then the doctors viewed it, he was supposed to have a surgery. What I'm saying, the doctors in Kolebu, the neurosurgeons, Dr. Wepeba, Dr. Abdallah, they are witnesses to this. For months, we couldn't get a date to do the surgery. Eventually, I had to go back, and even last, I think a little over a month ago, he was at the...
What are we listening to?
No. What I'm trying to say...
No, what point is he trying to make?
No,
what does that got to do with the
hold on, I'll give you time to...
No, but I want to get a point. What point?
Yeah, he's trying to make a point, so listen to him.
I'm driving at... Don't be in a rush.
I'm not in a rush, but what point are we driving at?
The point I'm driving at is the monies that went to SML and other transactions that are now being subject of investigation and prosecution could have been invested in our healthcare, so that the people in the regions who don't have the money to travel abroad to access MRI can also get healthcare.
But I said...
No, the point I'm trying to make is this. There are people who are dying because our hospitals lack critical equipment.
Yeah, that's true.
Ghana is too poor to provide those equipment. No, those monies are diverted somewhere. So when people are asked to come and account for their stewardship, and this was someone who was in charge of our finances. And
but I said, won't your point be valid if the court then is proven in court that indeed those were wrong payments? That's where we can say those monies could have been used to buy those machines for hospitals. Not so. And
the process of proving that is to get the people to court. They'll be cross-examined. They should come and account for their stewardship. Yeah. And nobody is saying, I'm very happy that he said all those who have been charged are not in prison. So he should also come, go to court, go through the processes. So that we shouldn't just trivialize it and make it look like those demanding accountability are saying that he is guilty. No, there is a process that others have gone through, others are going through, and he should come and go through. Okay. So I don't want us to just trivialize it. He keeps insisting that he's not killed a person. But I'm just trying to explain that the cost of corruption can kill some people. Mahama's words are to be interpreted in this way. And I'm just giving you an example. And I mentioned names of people who are witnesses to how individuals go to hospitals and they die. MRI is an essential machine for diagnosis. The whole of northern Ghana, not even a single one. So this is what people go through.
Okay.
And if the finance minister of the republic is involved in these transactions and he can get money, go to the US and access healthcare in the best of health facilities, it says something about our leadership. And we should demand accountability. Demanding accountability doesn't mean we are pronouncing him guilty. We are saying that come back and face the law. And if he says he's sick, are there no hospitals in Ghana?
Okay.
He should come and attend the very hospitals that he funded.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, let me land when my brother can come in. Look, let me say something. Kenufurata was not the head. Kenyatta was not the head of GRA. See, people keep getting this thing twisted. SML is to do with GRA, not the Ministry of Finance.
No, but doesn't GRA...
It has got nothing to do with Minister of Finance. You see...
But doesn't GRA work under the Ministry of Finance?
It's an agency. You are telling me that a school in Brahabebomi does something, the Minister of Education has to now be what? Ghana Education Service is there. Ghana Education Service does something, the Minister of Education is what? You see, it's a long stretch. I am happy for that case to go to court. Everybody in Ghana will see that there is nothing. A revenue assurance contract. And my brother is talking about misappropriation and corruption. How does anybody misappropriate a revenue assurance contract? You are receiving 10 cedis. If I help you receive 30 cedis, you give me a certain percentage. Then I help you receive 30 cedis out of the 10 cedis you are receiving. Then I take my commission and you want to say what?
No, but
that is basically what SML is. It's a revenue assurance contract.
Yeah, but a preliminary investigation to by, I think, is it KPMG?
Yes, but the KPMG did not find a wrongdoing. Let's not, everybody has read that. There was no wrongdoing. You see, processes. There are two different things we are talking about.
Wasn't there in the report where there was some payment for work that was not done?
About that, GRA. That's not the Minister of Finance. That is GRA. If GRA does something, it's an agency under the Ministry of Finance. The minister has deputies, have directors. If GRA makes a payment for work not done, go after GRA, not the minister.
Are you saying the minister or the ministry didn't have anything to do with that?
It doesn't. I'm not. Look, bro, we are going to go to court.
Yes.
And everybody will realize that this thing is much ado about nothing. What I'm saying to you is that the minute we start stretching agencies to the minister, there's a problem. ECG has a lot of problems. We saw the issues that have come up with ECG, Ghana Water, all other agencies. We do not go after the minister. What I'm trying to explain to you is that when you have a revenue assurance contract signed by GRA, go after GRA. If the GRA people in the box, listen to this very well, and that's where for me I'm surprised. If you arrest the GRA heads and they stand in the box and their witness and their testimony, their witness statement and testimony is that, I didn't want to do this, but this is a document from the Minister of Finance instructing me to do X, Y, Z.
Okay.
Then in that case, you need to now go after the Minister of Finance because the people you've charged or accused are relying on specific instructions from who? From the minister.
Okay, so this is one of them. This is a letter dated 22nd June 2023. It says, this is from Ministry of Finance.
Okay.
And it's signed by the Commissioner General, Ghana Revenue Authority, Accra.
No, hold on. The Minister of Finance letter cannot be signed by...
No. It's signed by Ernest Akwari, Chef de Cabinet, and it's, I think, addressed to the Commissioner General.
Ghana but it's from where?
Ministry of Finance.
It's signed by who?
Chef de Cabinet, Ernest Akwari.
What is his position? Is he the minister?
But okay,
no. Is that the minister who signed it?
Hold on, listen.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, the Honorable Minister has determined that there is a need to monitor the production and shipment of oil and gold out of the country.
Yes.
To this end, he would like to expand the scope of the revenue assurance work being performed by SML to include upstream oil drilling by the oil production companies and gold mining companies. Yes. 3, the attached revised contract has been reviewed by the legal department of the Ministry of Finance. However, because the Ministry of Finance and the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, signed the original contract on behalf of the government of Ghana, there is a need for GRA to also review and opine on the expanded contract before signing.
Yes.
Kindly forward the new proposed contract to GRA's legal department for their review.
Thank you.
And input.
Yes. You know, that even was not done. You know that this was not done. The expansion was not done. As per the KPMG report, what they have been paid for was the work
because
they had
Manasseh
done.
And his team,
well, that's fine. It doesn't matter what Manasseh and his team did, but you can't go to court to accuse somebody for something that was not done. What I'm saying to you...
No, but on this, doesn't it come across to you that the minister had a huge role to play in the first contract?
No, but the ministry... Hold on. What I'm trying to explain to you that the ministry, right, is headed by the minister. If you read, what does it say? It says that take it through a certain process. The minister has taken a decision. So when you take the file, everybody writes a memo. You see, what I'm trying to explain, I have worked within the sector, so I know. When a file goes to the minister for him to work on, the file is this thick. Every director, every department, everybody has worked on it, and they have done their memo. And the chief director signs, gives it to the minister. The minister now reads everything, then minutes on it. That is why when it's going back, it is not signed by the minister. It is signed by somebody who is a civil servant. So what the minister is doing, the minister is acting on behalf. He is an executive part of the government being put there to authorize. You see, are you going to charge Ken Ofori-Atta as his role as a finance minister or his role as Ken Ofori-Atta?
But are you saying that he just authorizes and will not be responsible to account for what he's doing?
Because when you... Hold on. If you bring Ken Ofori-Atta, and that's why I'm saying you don't need Ken Ofori-Atta. This letter, before this letter was written, if you go and take the file for the correspondence between GRA and the Ministry of Finance, it will be self-explanatory because there will be a lot of back and forth in terms of memos and letters that will now accumulate to the minister agreeing that this letter should be written. So you don't need Ken Ofori-Atta to come and explain why this letter was written. That's all I'm saying. People who have never worked in the ministry make all sort of, go to the ministry. This letter, before this letter was written, there would be about 3 or 4 or 5 correspondence, even within the memos within the ministry, before the minister would take the final decision. Yes, he takes the final decision. But what I'm saying is that if something went wrong, who are they asking to review the contract? Isn't the legal department of GRA? Who are going to be the executors of the project? It's the Ministry of Finance. So, listen, you might disagree with procedural. And bear in mind, there are 2 different governments. There's a government that did SML. There's a government that says they don't want to do SML. If you don't agree with processes, it doesn't make it wrong.
Okay.
We can go to Ghana versus the... Adam.
So wrap up. Let
me wrap up. Abodapi, Adams, and what is it called? What's the other one that was Victor Solomon? Miscutting. That miscutting case, but right, the first causing financial loss to the state case. When they went to court, and their defense was that they were instructed. The judge said that yes, you can be instructed, but you have to do your due diligence. So the chief director at that time, Adams, went to jail because of lack of due diligence. After that, now in any ministry, before a chief director will sign anything, he makes sure that he does his due diligence. So what I'm saying is that much ado about nothing. They can go to court, prosecute the director, the commissioner, all the people at GRA. Then in that court case, if you now get everybody in the case defending themselves, that media, I have a letter, this is the letter, tendered in evidence, explicit directive from Ken Ofori-Atta saying that do this, right? And as per that action, there were losses and corruption. Then you bring in Ken Ofori-Atta. At this stage, what are you bringing him in for?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Kwadwo, I'm really, really disappointed. And I don't want to go with Mr.
Kwadwo Poku.
Yeah, Kwadwo Poku's reasoning in any way. is he trying to say that as a finance minister who is supposed to supervise any financial transaction, because he's the final authorizer of, make this payment, do this, because he is the one who prepares budgets, he's the one who makes allocation, he's the one who does a number of things. Is he saying that the finance minister is not aware of whatever ministry that they are carrying out any activity regarding finances of the country? The taxpayers' money that has been collected by GRA put in charge of the finance minister to make sure that he disburses this amount per the budget he has prepared. Is he saying that the finance minister, anything that goes wrong with finances from a minister or from a chief director or anything, the finance minister sits and says that, well, I only prepared the budget, you are the one doing the work, so I have no say in it? Is he not the one supposed to make sure that whatever money he has given is used for the right thing?
No.
Or he's not supposed to do that?
That's why there's an auditor general.
No.
That's why
he's not supposed to do that.
No,
because if I give you 5,000...
He's not.
No.
That's not how government
If I give you 5,000 as a finance minister, or I disburse that amount to you, are you trying to tell me that under no circumstance should I look at what you have done with that money because I've done?
The auditor general does that.
No, the auditor general
does that.
Are we saying?
I think there could be
are we saying that the finance ministry doesn't have an oversight responsibility anyway, anyhow, about monies he has given to ministries? And so he sits there and just say that I'm done.
I think that's the work of the Auditor General.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that we know that Auditor General, at the end of your statement, your financial year, your statement and everything, he's supposed to come and audit.
Yeah.
But in the course of your work, where does the Auditor General come in?
Internal auditors at the ministry. The internal auditors at the ministry.
Are they working under?
Yes, they are assigned the Auditor General.
Are they not part of the
Auditor General
system?
The Auditor General.
From the Auditor General.
They are all from the Auditor General.
You see, what we are trying to what he's trying to say, well, we are all open to suggestions and welcoming views from education and other things. But what he's trying to say is that whatever the finance minister, any transaction that went under his administration, he's nowhere near any charge. He's not supposed to be called under any circumstance to, question or answering for anything. That is what he's saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that
if I want to quote you from what you said.
Let me correct that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you is that if the people who have committed, allegedly committed, if you take them to court and they are all relying on explicit instructions from the finance minister with a document, then bring him in to add him to the case. But initially, your case is with the people who have committed the crime.
Who releases the funds?
It has got nothing to do with the Ministry of Finance.
The first question I want to say, I don't know whether there is somebody aside the finance minister
who releases the funds.
Who has to release
Accountant General releases the funds.
No, but who gives the Accountant General the right to do that? Who gives the Accountant General the right to release funds?
The finance minister.
So if we are blaming and we want to ask who is the final authorization, it's the finance minister. And anyway, anyhow, if we go round, we'll still come back to him. Because at the end of the day, he's the person the president has put in charge and said that manage the economy. Make sure that the taxpayers' money, the little amount we have collected from the cocoa seller, from the market woman and everything, make sure you supervise how it is used and make sure that you channel it to the right places based on the needs and demands of those ministries. That is your work. And so if something goes wrong and we are saying that, the finance minister hasn't done anything, and from the statement, it means that is how they run the country for the past 8 years.
That's how the country has always run.
No, that's how they run the country for the past 8 years. But we've seen a change.
Let me make a small...
Let him finish. I'll let you come in. Yeah.
I wasn't interjecting. You see, we've seen a change in this current administration. For 1 year, if you want to do assessment, you can clearly see that the country is on a path of recovery. That tells you that somebody is doing his work well, because there is a president who has conscientized the leaders he has selected that you account for every single thing that you take decision on. Meanwhile, there was an administration that we have a member of the MPP seated here saying that the finance minister need not to answer any question to any Ghanaian anywhere.
I did not say
that. Is what he said. You see?
I did not say that, please.
For him to use the analogy that if he comes, what is he coming to say? What is he coming to talk? He can come and sit and not do anything. Means that if we give them power on any day, they run the economy as how it is. And whenever we demand accountability, they can decide that they won't say anything. They will sit somewhere and tell you that, go to hell, I don't have anything to say. You gave me the opportunity. This is what they are telling Ghanaians. And I'm happy that people are watching and listening. And these are well-meaning Ghanaians who want the country to move forward. This is the stand of the NPP. This is what the NPP is saying, that whenever you give them power, after they have done with the administration, don't come and ask them questions, because they can come and sit there and not utter a single word.
That's not what the point.
He used the analogy.
Don't say that. No,
because I'm really sad.
Hold on.
I'm really sad.
Bro,
and he asked me a question. He asked me a question.
I'll give you time.
He shouldn't put words in my mouth.
Question. That if it's my uncle, if it's my father,
don't do that.
Will I be praying?
I did not
for him?
say that.
This is a question about integrity. This is a question that, are you saying that if my father has done something wrong and they are asking him to come and explain himself, and he's not coming, and he's doing dodge, and people are praying, I should go and tell them that if it is your father, you will not be praying? This is what he's telling me. That Ghanaians who are all talking about accountability, everybody should keep quiet and say shh, because if it is somebody in our family, we will not complain. You see, the concept and the mindset that we have had for the past 8 years is very terrible. To the point that if your family member is doing even the wrong thing, or is allegedly have been accused of any wrongdoing, because it's your family member, just keep quiet, or because he's part of your family. And you cannot say, because he's your friend, keep quiet. And this is what ran the country into a system whereby inflation was very high, at a point 50-something. By the time they left off, it was 23 point something. This is how they run the economy. And me, as a young man, I will say on any day that I'm happy that the US has detained him. And my prayer, I'll keep praying, because see, you don't need a lot of people to support whatever you are pushing for or whatever you are praying for. A lot of Ghanaians have been in hardship for 8 years. I'm using myself. The other day when I was on your show, we were talking about agric, and you said you are into agriculture and all that. Young graduate, I'd completed university, Legon, 2016. I worked for 1 year, not a single penny was paid. Anybody can phone in and testify to it. As a veterinary officer, trained for 6 years as a doctor. Yes, I'm telling you. From Lagos.
PhD or first degree, PhD.
No, I'm talking about doctor of veterinary medicine, 6 years as like human doctor. I graduated in 2016, worked for a whole year like the housemanship they do. Not a penny was given to me under the administration working for 2017. And you tell me that the finance minister is cool, he did a good job, the economy was fine. 1 year, how was I surviving? Meanwhile, he has assets, he has money, he can travel at any time.
Our teachers paid today.
You see?
No, our teachers paid today.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about giving a contract.
Bro,
we never got the money. I'm telling you. No, if you ask the question that our teachers paid today, the fact that your salary has delayed doesn't mean that you never get. We're never on any roll. We're never on any. I'm telling you, we're never on any payroll. Not even establishment was made for us. I'm telling you. See, when some of us, the good we have seen in this 1 year, we are talking about it. And we are happy that the country is moving in the right direction. And we are asking that people who manage our economy should come for accountability. Please, see, we like what we call political tolerance, but we should not take Ghanaians for granted. The fact that we tolerate divergent opinions and views, and we are seated here discussing as people, as Ghana, as one, we shouldn't take people for granted. Because some of us, in the past 8 years, we've been through hell. I'm telling you, 1 year.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. Let's talk about President Mahama saying that he's laid a sustainable foundation for Ghana's progress. Could you?
Well, my brother, look, I honestly think that I thought we would.
I'll give you 2 minutes on this one.
That's fine. Well, I thought we would have spent a lot of time talking about the President Mahama's 1 year than my brother, all this thing about Freata and all those things. You see, one of the things I don't like doing is that sometimes people make you sound like you are defending something, right? But I am just defending a principle, which for me, I think that's why I'm passionate when that thing comes up, because I think the fundamental principle of that whole concept is wrong, where there is clearly evidence of documentary in the ministries that somebody can go and look at, but we have fixated about one person. And look, time will tell, it will run its course, and we'll all sit here and look, posterity is pregnant in the womb of time. Look, let's look at President Mahama's 1 year. I've heard that in his address yesterday or on the 7th at the Jubilee House, he said that he has laid foundation for a better Ghana to go forward. That's fine. Somebody says they laid a foundation, I can't argue with what he says. If somebody says I've put a seedling on the ground and I'm going to get a bumper harvest next year, I can't argue because I wasn't there when he did not see the seedling. And even if I saw the seedling, I don't know how that seedling would now manifest or come out a year from now. So we all would want to give him the benefit of doubt if he has said that he has put those benefits and those policies on the ground for a better year ahead. But one thing that I want Ghanaians to understand is that there are two parts of this country. There is economy, and there is always the part whereby we always have to look at what we do today, which will not probably show in 3-4 years, which is the economy of the country. Everybody keeps trying to make it look like we have done well 1 year, blah, blah, blah. Yes. If you take away two incidents that every time you leave someone to talk about the NDC, to talk about inflation and the dollar, take those two things out of the conversation and ask what else that person will say. We all don't know what that person says. I'm going to let and remind Ghanaians, and since my brother here is passionate about the youth, I want him to basically look at the NDC's own manifesto, right? NDC's own manifesto in page, let me get the pages right, so that everybody who read the manifesto, went to the polls and voted, will realize that not a lot has happened within the year and claim that, look, in page 22 of the NDC manifesto, 2.1, it says 24-hour economy policy, same job, 3 shifts, 3 people. 133. I've sat on this platform and said that the Ghanaian youth has been done a 419. Because what was promised was that under the 24-hour economy, there will be same job, 3 shifts, 3 people.
Yesterday I spoke to...
I'll get there, hold on.
They said the legislature...
Let me, but they came out with a 24-hour economy document. Haven't you read it?
Yes.
On page 19 of the 24-hour economy document, this is what it reads. Page 19, first line of the page 19. While the name 24-hour economy may evoke images of shift work or nighttime operations, the program goes beyond that. In your manifesto, you told Ghanaians that there is going to be shift work, 8-hour jobs. This is what it says. It says, this is what the whole statement reads. It says, the 24-hour economy is a deliberate policy intervention by the incoming NDC administration to stimulate economic growth by creating the enabling environment for business and public institutions to operate 24/7 in 3 shifts of 8 hours. That is what is in the. That is what is in the.
Thank you very much.
Then
your time is up.
Let me just.
I give you 2 minutes. He has to take his, and then we can.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, Dr. Tambo.
So Ghanaians can decide for themselves whether the manifesto and the policy is the same.
So I'm happy that my big brother was referring to inflation and the CD appreciation. I mean, that is the ultimate thing, because whatever we are doing, if inflation is on the high and our CD has become very volatile, we cannot achieve much as a country. We were here when Nanado was coming into power. He said he's bringing Dr. Baumia purposely because of dollar. And so if he says that we should take these two out, then why was the former vice president brought in as a part of the government?
No, I never say if you take. I say take if you take. Yeah, what I'm trying to say. What else is there to say?
That's so what I'm trying to say is that somebody was brought in to come and manage these two purposely for 8 years, which he couldn't do. And somebody has come within a year, he has been able to do it. And if we are doing assessment and we say that, oh, when you take these two, so it means that there are other very important issues more than the inflation and the cedi appreciation to us as Ghanaians. And so that is what they were working on for the past 8 years. And so we thank them that they did a good job by making sure that the inflation was high, the cedi was, depreciating so badly that the economy crashed when they were focusing on what they see to be very important. Thank you on that. For the 24-hour economy, what I will say is that, you see, one thing there's nothing wrong with what he read. We said that we are coming to create an enabling environment. You need your foundation very strong. You need to make sure that you put measures in place. Make sure that lending rate is going down. Make sure that because businesses are going to borrow from banks and all that. Inflation has to come down. We have to make sure that our cedi is stabilized to the point that those who are going to do imports, they are going to be able to import at a rate that is good for them to start their business. Without foundation, we will not rush and open 24-hour economy like we did Agenda 1 million for one constituency, and at a point it crashed down.
Right.
What we want.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. I'm told that our time is up. It's not me. Dr. Tanko Rashid Computer, today is your 50th birthday. Enjoy it to the maximum. The CEO at GIFEC, Tanko Rashid Computer. Have a great day. Happy birthday to you. There's more to come here on the AM Show.